you're coming over from reimagining Star Wars, just go ahead and jump to a minute 30. If not, enjoy the ride. Thank you everyone for tuning in to Star Wars Talks, where this time we get to talk to Thor Skywalker. We hope you'll be kind to us with this video. The sound isn't as good as we would like, but it's still pretty good. So without further ado, as Thor Skywalker would say, let's talk some Star Wars.
Hello everyone, welcome to our special interview. I'm a magic maker and I'm with Vega and our friend Santa, and we have our special guest of Thor Skywalker. Hello?
Who talks now? You talk? Do I talk?
I'm pretty sure they got it okay.
Now, did you get the reference?
I thought that was an intro for Thor, but maybe not.
I was wondering if you wanted me to talk now. I like the
hello there.
I tried to use the quote from Force Awakens. I can't remember the exact.
That was a good one too. It was so apropos. I think that was a very good intro right there. We didn't even plan it.
You want to, Thor, go ahead, introduce yourself.
Hello there, I'm Thor Skywalker. I don't know what else to say.
I was wanting you to say hello there, so I go, General Thornobi. I'll cut it up, we'll get it in there.
Yeah.
All right, ask your first question.
Well, hey, Thor, thanks so much for taking some time with us this afternoon. It's great to reconnect with you. I know it's been a long time since I've been able to chat with you, and you certainly know this from the expanded universe in the past. More the hardcore fans, the fans who have stayed with Star Wars through all the dark years where there were no movies. We lived in the novels, in the comics, and those are more long form formats. And Disney Plus is set up perfectly for the long form format. We're seeing that with The Mandalorian already. So I totally agree. And I think that there's been a lot of discussion about, should the next set of movies be a trilogy? Should it be a continuation of the saga? Should they be episodic, like Rogue One or Solo? And honestly, I don't have a strong preference in that. My interest for now and in the I'd say near to midterm future is in those series. But as far as the movies go, I know there's some interest. People say, well, Star Wars is at its heart, the big release movies, right? Those blockbuster movies is what built Star Wars, and they look for that again. But I don't know. I don't know if that's in the future for theaters, and that's really, for me, I just don't know. And I was wondering what you think.
No, I think I think it's it's interesting that Star Wars was made by movies, but I don't think that's going to be its future. I mean, if you ask me what I'm more excited for, I'm more excited to see what they can develop through Disney Plus with multiple shows connected. And I don't know what they do with the movies. I don't know if they try to do a trilogy. I don't know if they try to do some kind of go back to the anthology style with the Rogue Ones and the Solos. I don't know if you go to the future or past the sequel trilogy. I don't know if you go to the past to the Old Republic. I think for the general audience, Star Wars is those 9 movies or the 6 movies or the 3, whatever generation of fan, however you want to look at it. And I don't know that the future is in movies. I don't know that you can make movies again that are just going to capture the imagination of generations like they have in the past. I just think that's not something that's likely to happen for Star Wars again. So I think really the future is in Disney Plus and just keeping this long-running series or long-running franchise going, if you will.
Yeah, I agree with you. And I think we have a really good example coming up with the Obi-Wan series, right? Because that was originally planned to be a movie, but then they with everything that happened within Lucasfilm, with how Solo was received, the box office there didn't meet expectations, and things were in turmoil for a while. And I think for a while, movie was pulled. That it just was going to go on the shelf. But Disney Plus has given it some place to be released, and has fans excited. And I completely agree. I think the future is in long story format with the novels, Disney Plus, and comics, and then for of course the games. I know people have carried on some of the storytelling through the games. So I think that is the future. No question in there. So Magic Maker, I'll let you steer for a bit.
Okay.
Well, maybe one of my silly questions
Okay, we'll ask a silly question.
One of my silly questions is, why didn't you put Thor? Why did you put Luke instead of Thor? Because you are Thor Skywalker. It would just make sense. So you just change his last name to Skywalker.
So it'd be Thor with a lightsaber versus Luke with the Thor's hammer?
Yeah.
You mean why did Thor Skywalker instead of Luke Odinson?
Luke Odinson. We like that. We like that a lot. Well, Santa, do you have any questions?
Yeah. So I'm not sure if you know, but you're the first person I ever supported in Patreon, and I came to your channel because I was a huge fan of The Last Jedi. I loved that movie, and then I couldn't figure out why so many fans hated it, and so I started searching for a channel that could explain that for me. And your content was the first thing I ran into that was really trying hard to explain. Like, these are the things, rather than just ranting, right? Like, I hate it, I hate it, I hate it. It was like, I don't like this for this reason. So how is it that your channel, I see that as a distinguishing characteristic of your channel. And how is it that you came on the discussion format rather than the rant format that's so popular?
You mean exactly?
Well, I don't want to name call, but there are channels that make their business off of ranting about Star Wars bad, Disney Star Wars bad, and just highlighting what they see are bad decisions that Disney and Lucasfilm have made since that merger or that purchase. And your channel seems to be different, and it's the reason I came to it is that it's more of a discussion and a explanation, more of a reasoned, thought out perspective rather than just an emotional outburst of I'm mad, right? I'm sure that your channel gets picked up on algorithms from folks that dislike, say, The Last Jedi, for example. And that would be fair because most of the content is critical of it. But when your criticisms don't come from a place of just emotional outburst, it's more of a reasoned. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, it kind of goes with what I said before. I mean, when I started the channel, like I didn't start the channel to be, a big time YouTuber or to do it for a living or anything like that. I started because it was post The Force Awakens. I didn't love The Force Awakens. I really enjoyed it. I was really curious where the story's going to go. So, I was one of those people. I was watching every video, every theory, everything. And I'm like, you know what? Why don't I try making videos? Why don't I try, talking to some people and making, because, when you put a comment on a lot of YouTube channels, you don't get a response from anybody, and that's just kind of how it is. So my idea was, let's start talking some Star Wars. I'll get a few, maybe I'll get a couple hundred subscribers, and, I could just talk to people about Star Wars. And that was my original intent. And I've never really lost sight of that. I still tried to do that. It's obviously much more difficult to respond to people now than it was back then. But I mean, I'm not really here to tell you this and this and this about Star Wars or how to feel or to get angry about this or to be mad. I'm genuinely here to talk Star Wars, the good, the bad. I mean, if you're somebody who hates The Last Jedi, who wants to rant and rave, sure, you're welcome to come on my channel and you're welcome to do that. If you're someone who loves the movie and wants to defend it, you're welcome to do that as well. I just try to look for respect. We all love the same thing. We all love Star Wars. We don't all agree on what the best parts are, but we can all respect each other. We can all be a part of a community. And I think that's the biggest, I don't want to say tragedy, but it's the biggest disappointment of the sequel trilogy for me, is that it really just destroyed the fan base. I mean, you have distinct sides. And yeah, something very similar happened with the prequels, but, in the age of the internet, it's obviously much more out there. You have people who can just, you have people who can make a hate video about Star Wars. You can just rant and rave like you're talking about it. It'll get 1 million views and it'll get people worked up. And that was never my goal. My goal was just to to explain why I didn't like this movie, to to be calm and rational, and to show that not everybody, is this passionate, angry person about the movies. They were just disappointed, and that's okay, as it's okay to also have loved and enjoyed the movies.
Yeah, and when I was part of your Discord group there, I always felt welcome. It was a great place for me to engage, and you've built a really good community of folks. You've got great people, just great human beings that want to talk about Star Wars, and that's what impressed me. While I was part of your Patreon group, and it made me feel welcome and learn more about different perspectives in Star Wars, and see that there could be a civil dialogue and discourse between people who are passionate and have passionate opinions. But it's something that I'm hopeful we're starting to see turn in the fandom, and I think maybe the long story format will help get us there, and Disney Plus will help get us there. There's a lot of hope and trust being put in, like Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau right now, and deservedly, right? Those guys have earned it. I'm hopeful that we'll start to see more of this civil discourse, and that's really what I wanted to not only just compliment you, let you know that as somebody who's disagrees with a great number of your takes, I still have a huge admiration and just felt really, really welcome as part of your Patreon group. But going forward, it's people like you that are going to help move us forward. And that's what I just wanted to say, that I just want to talk, like, I think you close every stream or every video you do with, and let's talk Star Wars, right? And that's, it's good to hear that that's what your focus has always been, and that you've been able to stay there. But I'm also, just for the sake of folks who don't know you as a person and just think that you have a hate channel, that some of the folks that follow me call me shill and all of that kind of thing, but to know that there can be respect, mutual respect, for people with different opinions, and I want to highlight that. And I keep trying to have these conversations with people to show that we have deep-seated disagreements, but when you have a passion and a love for something, you can have disagreeing conversations without it being hateful, and it's being lost in the internet these days.
Well, I agree with you. I mean, I think that's the biggest problem with the internet, is it's so easy to sit behind a computer and just not realize you're talking to another human being who we can all respect each other. We can all treat each other decently. We don't have to agree. We can have heated discussions and arguments and debates. That's fine. I've had plenty of people who come on my channel who love The Last Jedi, and they rant and rave at me, but at least they kind of do it in a way where they're trying to make points, and they're trying to, they're not just attacking me, they're attacking my position. And, you can certainly do it more civilly than, some ways than others, but I can respect that. I can respect the passion of somebody else who disagrees with me. I can respect that you don't see it exactly as I do, and that's fine. And we can still set that aside and treat each other like people, and have a conversation about it. We don't have to hate the other person because they saw a movie differently than we did. I mean, like I said, we're all Star Wars fans. Let's start there, and then let's continue the discussion.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
What do they say? Like when you begin the ad hominem tax, that's when you've lost the argument, right? So the idea is to understand that we come at it from different views. And that's how me and Santa became friends, and it was on your channel before.
Yeah.
I mean, we came at it from different points of view, and we still have our views. And I've had to understand that I've had to moderate and not just I won't say I change my views, but moderate how I express my views, because I have a daughter that deeply loves the even for all the flaws, and she recognizes the flaws, but she still really loves the sequel trilogy. And it's an experience for her, and Star Wars is something that has drawn us together, and I'm not going to take that away, whether I like them or not, to their fullest extent, as much as Santa does. And it's bad to call you a shield, because that's how you end up with coal in your stuff.
Well, and Thor, I know as somebody who loves the sequels, I know what the kind of hate that's thrown towards me looks like. Right? I see that. I read it. Right? I had somebody come on private message me and tell me to go kill myself because it doesn't matter why. Right? That's where the internet takes you these days. And I can imagine I have got less than 200 followers, and I get somebody tell me go kill myself. Oh, you've got over 100,000 followers, and I can imagine that you have to run across these things to some degree as well, right?
Oh, I run across it all the time. I mean, I like you, I've had people tell me I should die in the fire. I've had people like, if I ever met you in real life, I'd punch you in the face. If I, go kill yourself. How can you? Why are you so full of hate? Why do you hate the world? And why are you such a negative and evil person? Like, I don't understand that. Like I said, we can disagree. We can certainly disagree. But why are you telling me to kill myself over a movie? I mean, I love Star Wars. I'm as passionate about it as almost anything else in my life, other than my family and my friends and so on.
Right.
So, I can't understand this. How you could be so upset over a movie that you would literally tell somebody, kill yourself, or I hope you die, or I hope you get cancer and die, or whatever it is. But I mean, it's almost every video where, if I mention the sequel trilogy, there will be that couple people who just pop on there and just say the worst things imaginable. And it's, all I do is I report them, I delete the comment, and I move on with my day, because what else am I going to do? Get mad about it myself? Like, I'm here to talk to the people who want to talk to me, whether they agree with me or disagree with me. I am more than happy to talk with you.
Yeah. So I haven't.
If you are true fans, shouldn't they say, "We hope you get the blue shadow virus"?
I respect that more.
I've covered the questions I had, and Thor, I just can't thank you enough.
I'm happy to do it. Really, I'm thank you. I mean, I know you left Patreon, but I still appreciate your support. I'm glad you came on, and you did give people a different perspective on The Last Jedi. So I appreciate that as well.
We have enjoyed talking Star Wars with you for sure.
Yeah, I plan to come back to Patreon at some point. I just had to watch. These are times where you got to watch where you're putting your money, and I had to choose. It was just not a time as the community as a whole was not at a good place for me to be in, and I hope to come back. I've always planned to come back, and I watch all your videos, and I put a like or dislike on it just because I know it doesn't really matter to YouTube. They don't care. But I want to support you, and I want to give you that watch time and some sort of reaction, because you're doing good things. And I talk about you frequently on my channel, always from a perspective of how respectful. And I think it's because it's the first community that I got involved in.
All right, everyone, before you go, if you haven't already seen it, go back to my channel by clicking the end screen over there, Reimagining Star Wars, and watch the other half of the interview over there. And don't forget to subscribe before you go.